Happy Tuesday! It is April the 9th, 2019, and I'm Eric, talking at you as always from beautiful downtown Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, where, lies are a lot like Jaeger bombs. Sure, they seem like a good idea when you start out, but after enough of them, somebody gets hurt, somebody gets fucked up, and somebody ends up losing their job.
It's funny, but it's true.
It's sad and true. It is. How's everybody doing tonight? Gord, how are you? How's Milton?
Milton is getting chilly, windy as a motherfucker, and life is what life is.
Say hello to some fans if they're listening tonight. We picked up some new fans in San Antonio, Texas the last time. So hello to you guys if you're listening and everyone else around the world. We have a special guest with us tonight. A guy I've been waiting to have on the show since long before I met Gord. This is our friend Paul. Gord, why don't you do the honors for me, buddy?
Cool. Well, everybody, is one of my best friends, Paul. Great guy, as you know. I've talked about him on the show before. Nice guy. I met him. He got me the job of Kirk's working. And
so it's his fault.
It is, yeah, it's fault. So you can blame him. It's all right. But yeah, so it's he's a great guy, and so time that you had a chance to sit down and put him on the show.
Welcome, welcome, Paul. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, my man. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I've heard such amazing things. Started listening. Pretty amped up and ready to go.
All right.
Now I kind of want to Jaeger bomb. I'm not gonna lie.
Objection! Oh, whoops. Okay, that didn't work. Played the wrong sound effect there. Hi, James. Yeah, Paul, you can't hear these sound effects I use. I don't know why, but I play them and they're funny to me, but you guys don't know that.
Trust me, I'll just play something in my head. I worked at the brick for 11 hours. I had to.
And we, of course, here at the Champion Tree Entertainment Company love the Brick and don't share his opinions whatsoever. I usually have some topical news stuff, but tonight I was very busy with a personal issue I have going on that I'm not allowed to talk about on the air. So I don't have very much to talk about. There's Chinese spies that are very bad spies breaking into Trumpy's golf course. I thought that was freaking hilarious. They basically stopped her at the gate and said, "Are you a spy?" And she said, "Yes." And they went, "You're not very good at this, are you?" And she said, "No." And then that was the end of that.
Exactly.
This is just getting... I think this is just a really bad deflection tactic. They're trying to take it just attention off the fact that he's a douche for a little while, and it's not working because they just all look stupid now.
Well, even the people who want to spy on them look fucking idiots. Like, come on. Like, how bad do you have to be as a president?
Like, I went to school in the States, and I remember when Barack became president, and Caroline was dating her father because she voted Obama and didn't talk to her for 2 weeks. Like, I couldn't imagine it. Trump, like, the nightmare that Trump is just hilarious.
He's pretty fantastic.
Great for the media.
I wish we had something better to talk about up here, but we got Justin, so.
Yeah. And that whole thing is just such a cluster.
Oh my god. Like, I don't understand.
There's literally just nothing good. And the funny thing is as fucked up as it is here, it's still anything like has gone on in any other country. Like, no, they're not. These are like serious things as much as my feelings are hurt.
Yeah, well, see, the problem is, one thing you can't do in Canada really is anything to offend natives or women. And so firing the most high-profile native woman ever, that's just bad planning.
Like, it's all, like, honestly, like, they couldn't have done anything, like, worse. Like, why even go to work?
I don't know what's really lower than what he's done, but she's going to win the election in a landslide, and she's not even running.
Yeah. It's true. Did you hear about what happened in her riding area?
I heard something about her tackling Bret Hart this weekend, but
No, in her riding, there's 16 other people that are like running.
yeah.
14 out of the 16 have dropped out of the race in support for her.
See,
14 of the 16.
That's what a good
yeah, but
person does.
those are the 14 that know they're not going to win anyway.
Yeah.
It's true. But they did it. They all did it. Came out of it in solidarity. It's an incredible thing. You just don't see or hear about this happening.
You really
do you guys
don't.
watch Brooklyn? Do you guys watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine at all?
Never seen an episode.
Yeah, I have.
I don't like to.
Really good show.
I generally tend to avoid anything that people perceive as funnier than me.
Which nobody is. So you can watch everything. So what's the problem?
So until it's Brooklyn Nine Eric, then I'm not in.
So what happens is the captain's running for president. There's a woman running. They have a conversation, like the three men, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry about her. We just put her in so that we would look good." Like it's just
Funny because it's true.
Right?
like that's what actually happened. It's a terrible, horrible place.
Well, Paul, in the business, that's what we call here a segue. Because that gets us right into this whole concept. Now, it's kind of a buzzword, and I want to be careful not to be that guy. But there is a lot of discussion these days about what's being called toxic masculinity. And, I don't. Some of it I buy, some of it I don't. But I know you came on the show because you felt very strongly about this. Why don't you try to explain to the people who aren't as enlightened as Gordon and I what this subject entails?
Well, for one thing, like I'm saying, like as a white male, like I have it easy. Like
Fantastic.
Like when I grew up, like I was never told. Be careful when you're walking down, like when it's nighttime or
Never.
like that. Like as a white male, I have it easy. My wife works for a women's shelter, and I call her my superhero because she does amazing things for the community. And what she's not a social worker. She does marketing and fundraising, but what she does see is horrible. And ever since I met her, she really opened my eyes to what the real world is like. I come from a sports background. I come from that be a man, throw some balls, get up and walk it off.
Yeah, Paul is a jock.
Yeah, like
we would have hated each other
but
back
a
in the
different
day.
kind of jock. I'm not going to lie, a different kind of jock. Like I didn't.
You
I
wore
didn't
those
care about being silly.
You wore those weird shades. Come on.
Yeah,
You're a
exactly.
douchebag.
I'm not a fan of you at all.
You,
But like, especially being Canadian, going down to the States, and it's because I threw hard, I got full scholarship, and
sure.
it's just incredible. Like my entire scholarship was $850,000. Like just because I could throw a ball hard, and like
Yeah, and yet, where's my being emotionally available scholarship?
like come on, Canada. Like if we're not gonna give out athletic scholarships, like let's throw out the money a little. Like, but coming from that toxicity of like 30 men or 30 boys being together all year long, it's like, oh man, I gotta fuck her, or like, oh yo, like just, or like, yo, like
Guys being bros.
like the most amount of bros ever.
And
like,
let me just clarify for those of you who don't know, you don't have to be a jock to be a douche in this area. We've all done it. I can't throw a ball. I don't even own a ball, but I still do this when I'm in a group of men. It's a man thing. which is bullshit. Men things don't exist, but we make them exist so that we can get away with it.
Even when you go to the bar, like,
Oh, yeah.
go to the bar, just trying to have a conversation, like my grown it comes out a little bit, and like it just happens, and like
My grown.
You know what? I can't stand it when someone takes the middle stall next to me and looks at my broness. When there's 3 stalls, take the end, douche.
Yeah, like that's just common sense. Like, or like if you're like sitting down and like there's like 4 spots, like
Why
go to
sit
the
down?
fucking end, like go
Yeah.
to the side.
What are we gonna share a milkshake? Get on the other side.
Yeah, like, are we gonna hold
Jesus.
hands after this? Like, you go sit over by yourself. But like, like essentially what like.
Just let me clarify. I don't like it when anyone sits next to me. That's not just a gay guy thing.
That's my social anxiety as well. Like, I can talk to anybody, but like, come sit beside me and come into my personal space, and like, please don't. Like, just be normal.
See,
Yeah.
when people do that to me, I just make them uncomfortable.
I generally-
know, but you're an asshole, so
I've said it. I've said it before. I generally don't like to talk to men or ugly people. So if they can just not approach the table, it works out well. But
you're in a good position.
that's true. So yeah. Now the thing that I think people don't understand about this is there's no biological evidence that this is a thing. There is nothing that makes you manly like that. It's all in our heads. We make it up. We're raised to believe it, but we're not born that way.
No.
So what I have is masculinity is not organic. It's developed at a young age to teach boys that anything girly automatically means you're a sissy or not a man.
Of course, and luckily we're in one of the better cultures for it. I mean, that kind of indoctrination is what leads to groups like ISIS having power. Not to take it to such a grand scale so quickly, but really, in North America, we're not as bad as the rest of the world, where we're genuinely they are taught that women are inferior.
Well, like one thing that has always soured me was when I was at Canadian University. Like one of my marketing teachers said to me that like in Afghanistan when they're walking with their cattle, the woman walks first, the man walks 20 feet behind the woman, and then the cattle walk 20 feet behind the man, and it's all for bomb.
Yeah.
The bomb goes off. The woman will
Kill
die, and then they'll go another way.
That is
like,
brilliant.
Like, I remember, I'll never forget that.
It's the most insane shit ever.
Like, but it's true. Like, that's what other women in other countries actually go to, and that's why they try to come for refugee to Canada and the United States, and how come not? But like, then you come
This
here,
is
and then
gonna be one of those days,
all
isn't it?
that, like, politicians that care about the stupidest shit.
I don't know what you're talking about in the sheerest way.
No, not even a little bit.
That was an Andrew Shearer reference, in case you didn't get it. Andrew Shearer. Leave abortion alone, you fucking dick. So
Go put your signs and go put them in the garage.
well, no, you guys are, you've got Doug Ford right there champion this for us, so what a hero.
Hero.
Okay, so we know it's, in advertising and, just the entertainment in general, it's always been a thing. How do we convince young guys not to go this route? I don't think Gillette's gonna do it for us.
Or Old Spice, or like
What?
Dove has come out with a whole man line, and trust me, I have used it ever since they came out with it.
Why did that Old Spice thing backfire so badly?
But it's actually, I don't think it did backfire. I think it's actually a great commercial and it's good advertising. But
It worked. It's run its course.
It's run its course. It's boring. It's old meat. But like,
okay.
honestly, it's great advertising. It's just a horrible message. So like,
It's a horrible product.
A horrible product. It smells like ass. Like it smells like
Sailor
like,
ass.
Florida turnpike. Like,
See,
oh my god.
so now, I remember a long time ago, Gordon and I had a conversation about not necessarily objectifying, but if I want to sell beer, I'm not putting the three of us on the poster. I'm going to put hot girls in bikinis.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to sell beer, of course you are.
Right. So now, does that contribute to this?
Technically, well, that's
a different demographic, but yeah,
it's exploitation, but just with the opposite. Like, I guess
you're turning into your 20 and 30 and 40 and 50-year-olds that think that they have a shot with you, but they didn't think they're that.
Well, that's when we start losing our testosterone. So we should probably need that a little bit.
That's because we drank too much of that beer.
Yeah. Well. Hey, there's no.
Shitty beer for the record.
It is. It's like so like.
Let's just call the science on that questionable and move on from that. We'll just agree to. I love how people say that. You ever have someone say that when something's completely shitty on their part? They go, "Well, we'll just agree to disagree." No, I'm not at all. You're just being wrong.
They're straight wrong. But like I have here, like society and advertising. Men, we need to be strong and portray ourselves as true men. Like, think about that. Like, if we don't go outside and put on that mask that we are strong and we can put food on like when we get home,
supply the family,
and like on the weekends we mow the lawn and barbecue and build shit like that. We're not a man. Or if we feel sad, or if we cry, for example, that you know what? Oh, Gord's a better man than I am today because I cried. Like what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I've seen Gordon cry like when I've killed a butterfly. So let's not go racing to that example.
But it was so pretty.
You know, a good rainbow will get him choked up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but that's just it. So the question but then that begs the question then. So what is it that quote unquote defines a man?
Well, see now.
Yeah, live up to the bullshit expectation. You become an asshole. Nobody wants to be around you and tell you to change. You're a dude.
That's exactly right. But yeah, I'm such not the authority on this because I was raised by my mother from the age of 9. I basically had half of a vagina until last year.
I've been raised by women as well. Like my dad was an ass pilot, and then I had my Kevin and my granddad, and then my grandma. But like honestly, what I think that defines a man is somebody that can actually show their emotions. And
I'd like to get a T-shirt that says "My other dick is a vagina."
You know, it's a large vagina. It's not a little guy. It's been used. But like honestly, like to be honest, if you think about it, like what I think a man is somebody that can actually feel their emotions.
Oh yeah.
But like,
well, it'll be posted anyway.
And like,
but there's still 115 episodes you can check out if you want. Sorry, Sin. Keep talking.
Sorry, like honestly, what I feel like a man is somebody who can actually feel their emotions, be happy, be content with who they are, go to work, be happy, be able to provide some money. But nowadays, it's a two income family. So like, it's not like the 70s where the mom works at home, like stays at home with the kids and dad goes off to work. Like we have changed as a whole, but is it better? I don't think so. Like it's like
here's the thing.
Oh wow.
Like, oh, guys with abs, and that's what a man is. But it's truly like the normal man that like I have fat on me, and like, and I'm fine with that. But like, yes, I do love sports, but like, I was always different from all the other guys who goggled over women. Like, yes, like let's get real. I do love a beautiful voice, but my wife is bisexual, and I love going, hey, you think she's hot? And she goes, yeah. And I go, she goes, do you think she's hot? And I go, yeah. Like,
Sure.
honestly, everybody.
But the LPGA still shouldn't exist.
Pardon me?
The LPGA, that's shouldn't exist. That's what you said.
But like, I think everybody's definition of a man is different because of how they were grown up. Like, you were grown up by women, so you're gonna have a different definition of what a man is.
I think my definition of a man, I think, would be the traditional gentleman, where you're just respectful of everyone, and when you're in public, even if you don't like somebody, you fucking fake it for 5 minutes because that's the nice thing to do.
You will hold the door open for women.
I do hold the door open for women.
If there's somebody that comes on a subway or a train and they're handicapped or they're older,
then I say
you let them sit. You let them take the seat.
Absolutely not. You're pointing out two groups of people, one who's just recently stopped paying taxes and one who's never going to pay taxes, so screw them, they can stand. Absolutely. God forbid you're an elderly handicapped woman, just get off my bus right now.
Right now.
I of course mean every word of that. But
You know, I think what this all begs the question is, because if you're not going to live with the moniker of the atypical man, of what a man's supposed to be, if you're going to disregard that, then really what you're doing is you're disregarding all forms of not sex, but all forms of gender.
Right, and that was where I was going to go to next with this, but because this no longer a man-woman question. It's not that black and white anymore, is it? It's we have to consider all the LGBTQ carry the 1 divide by 4.
3.14 times 5, 4, 3, 6, 5.
You're not going to keep going.
And God bless them all. I think there's plenty of room in my world for everybody to be themselves and be happy. Let your freak flag fly. We're not here long enough to worry about it. But for the atypical man, this must just make their head fucking explode.
100%.
So it just
everything we're talking about is making probably all those atypical men very uncomfortable. That like.
They're just finally wrapping their minds around the fact that, like, oh, come on, fellas, we all know which no means yes, right? Like,
yeah,
right? Are we wrong about that, guys? And now that guy has to understand that there's these I don't want to call them subgenders. That makes it demeaning, but these other genders now that you have to accept, and I could imagine the average so-called alpha male would just lose it, and I think it's almost unfair of us to dump it all on them all at once. Now that
100%, like they have been taught at a young age that being a d-bag and like I don't mean like d-bag, but like having that sort of masculinity where you catcall a woman, or you can dunk a basketball. You're a competition at all times. You are always at risk of losing your position at top spot. Like they have been taught that at a very young age that that's what a man is, and like I never had a good father, so like a lot of people.
I've had 7
fathers that tell them, hey. You be a man, grow up, grow some balls, stop being this, do this. Like, there's a lot of fathers out there that force their kids to play sports or playing music, like playing an instrument, or like it's sad. Like, and like trust me, like.
Most of that's all based off of parents that just want to live their life, their dreams through their kids.
See, now I was lucky enough to have 7 so-called good fathers, so I've got a very varied perspective. I think my mom just really liked weddings was the thing.
She likes getting drunk.
Yeah, she liked buying booze for her friends and me dancing with strange old women. I don't know. It was
Well, how can you not love that?
so I was very lucky to really disdain men by a very early age, and I've managed to grow up with that healthy hatred for all things male this whole time, except for myself, of course, because I'm a fantastic specimen.
I have a quick question for you, though. Do you disdain all men or older men?
That's a really good question. No, I don't feel disdain for younger men, but I am threatened by them and hate them. But that's only because I'm 40 now and things are weird.
See, did you just turn 40?
I do. I'll be 41 in June.
Okay, so I just turned 30, and like,
Oh, you got a world of learning ahead of you.
I know. Like the last 3 years since I met my wife has been a very eye-opening experience. And
Well, you wait till you see what fucking life's gonna throw at you.
Well, like
Enjoy these moments and make it fucking laugh.
Well, like I feel like I'm a very old 30-year-old because I have lived a lot of different experiences.
I felt like that until my first divorce as well.
But like, I lost my mom. I lost my dad when I was 12. I lost my mom when I was 20. Like, found I have type 1 diabetes. Like, I think like, but I have never known what a woman goes through until I met my wife. I have a world of knowledge that I have never experienced, and meeting Gord has been a very eye-opening experience, seeing what he has to go through.
Eye-opening. That's a good way to describe my life.
And talking to him about life and getting that aspect.
I've never met Gord or spent any time socially with him, and I don't really plan on it, but I hear he's quite the ladies' man.
Oh, yeah. Good looking to you.
Ladies, man. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Huh?
So you Paul, seem to have a very well-rounded view because you've said nothing but wonderful things about your wife, and how great she's been for you, and yet you still subscribe to this macho attitude with your bros. Is that are you lucky to have both perspectives, or is that as kind of an internal conflict for you?
It's an internal conflict for me. Like, honestly, like
Wow.
So like, honestly, like when I met my wife, like I also like I had all my baseball friends, and then I have my one guy that like I'm best friends with, and then now Gord has come in my life, which
It's all about to fall apart.
But like, honestly, like,
Welcome to my nightmare.
I just recently retired from baseball, but when I played baseball, like, our number one goal was to get to nationals, go play for a bronze, a silver, or a gold medal, and like that's what I had always known, and like being the best at pitching, like
Sure.
that's what drove me, and like losing my mom like was something that I brought to sports, and I took out all my anger,
And I gotta say, I have nothing but the ultimate respect and admiration for guys that are so devoted to something like that. Because while you were distracted, I was nailing your girlfriends all through my 20s.
Trust me, I got my buddy in America being a Canadian. Oh yes, we do live in igloo. Yes, we are cold all the time. When I was in Texas, and I know that we have a new Texas friends, there was literally in 2007, 2008, there was an inch of snow and the entire town shut down.
Yeah, I actually spent some time in Texas. It's fantastic.
It's a beautiful place, and the girls are like every girl sounds wonderful, and then you turn the corner.
Yeah, they're interesting people. I've said on this show before, and I don't mean this in an insulting way. I'm actually quite jealous of it. The people who live in Texas have no concept that there's a world outside of Texas. They don't care.
100%.
I've only
The
ever.
only thing that matters is the star and the flag and
Barbecue.
and baseball and batting that lot. Like, oh my god.
And something that was so foreign to me, my friend James pulled out a joint and went to light it, and we got like tackled. Like you.
Oh, yo.
Really?
All the dry counties, like, oh my god.
You can't smoke a joint. And you might as well be just shooting heroin into your cock in the middle of the road. It's a frightening way, but in that way, I kind of liked it too.
I would never want to do that.
The other thing about the beautiful people of Texas, they all sound stupid, and they're not. They're all far more intelligent than I, but that they sound dumb to me.
Yeah, they got the.
I understand, yeah.
And yet they say the same about
all
me.
The girls
So
sound so beautiful.
yeah, they say I sounded slow. Are you simple?
What's wrong with him, eh?
Yeah. I was.
Chesterfield.
See, I've been to Texas, but I have no memory of it during a 2-week blackout. So I went to a concert and met a bunch of band kids. I have no memory of any of it. So
That is
I
brilliant.
don't remember getting on the plane.
Well, that's where I picked up my wonderful habit of shooting.
I really wish this echo would stop because no one's going to know all the great things I'm saying about this. We've been having some technical difficulties on the show, Paul. Yeah, no, you guys sound great. Keep it up. I just sound horrible. And who cares? I'm just the personality and the brains of the show.
I love how you're so nice to yourself. Keep up the solid work.
I have some self-esteem issues, I must admit.
Well, don't we all? Like, as a man, don't we all?
Well,
we all try to keep it. Like, we all have this persona when we're out, and then when we get inside, we all.
See, I use it as a mechanism because I feel ashamed of the fact that I'm just so fantastically good looking and well hung that it's hard. So I make jokes.
How can this girl, like, honestly, like, being well hung, like, let me just get on my knees and bow down to you right now. Like, holy shit. Like, no, I'm going to get down on my knees and blow him.
Now everybody knows I'm being ironic because of the topic. Unless you've met
You
me.
didn't see it. We all know what happened with me when I saw it the first time.
This is obviously who I am.
Needed a left turn there for you.
Oh, I just couldn't talk. I tried to keep it up. The joke, not the other thing.
No.
So where do we now? Okay, it's.
You either lose the fucking man being a man idea, and you literally become humankind.
But I don't want that because I don't want a homogenous goo of unidentifiable children. I would like a male child and a female child, and I want the female child to wear dresses and the male child not to, and all those beautiful creatures in between figure out what they want and do it. But I don't want to completely eliminate masculinity. I don't think that's fair. We still need people to kill spiders and make more money at work.
See, it's funny because I got my wife to kill spiders.
That's perfect.
Like I was, when I said I had a gaping vagina, it's 100.
You're not whispering.
Did you not hear that? Oh, that was genius.
Oh, 5,000 people did. Don't worry.
Oh, that's fantastic.
No, but do we want to eliminate masculinity? Is there not still a place for it? And I'm being genuine here. I love and respect women as much as possible. I think I do better than most. That's being questioned right now, but that's another topic for another show.
I actually don't. I think as much as you know, well, I mean, you know me. I have very skewed versions of how things should run. Either no total anarchy or under very strict rule. But when it comes to this whole sexuality and how do we approach people, I don't know. I'm starting to think. I just think it's better off just to say, who cares? Because when do you literally just walk up? Because you don't really just walk up and say, like, you know, you say, hey girl, hey guys, like when you know them and it's a friend. But
What if I was a girl? Would you treat me any differently?
no, I don't treat anybody different. I don't give a shit. That's the difference.
See, then
Would you be a hot girl?
No,
I don't give a fuck who it is. Nobody intimidates me. Nobody puts me off my game. Doesn't matter.
She doesn't have enough curly hair. I would not be attracted.
But I am genuinely nicer to people I think may sleep with me. I don't know if that's a gender thing or not.
I don't
but
think that's anything. I think that's.
That's just
I
that.
think you treat people that are attractive. Either
Not necessarily attractive, but as much as
no, I use attractive in the sense that Gord, I find you attractive. I'm attracted to you as a person. I mean like magnetically, not sexually. I enjoy your company.
Eric wants to blow me.
I really don't. I really don't. But a little spooning doesn't hurt. Like a little. If two guys snuggle and watch a movie, that's not gay. That's like just that's dude. That's what dudes do, right? Like,
well,
I'm gonna say no.
Like
I
if-
mean, I just don't.
That sounds like a wonderful lead.
like I could
I
go
am
to a
not.
I could go to
Yeah,
a
I'm
bar
not
and be a
comfortable.
dick to women, and but I can still get under a blanket with you and watch a League of Their Own on Saturday. That's not wrong, right?
Oh, and because they're own.
I just, you know.
See, Gordon's so uncomfortable right now.
Well, it's funny because I don't get uncomfortable, but what I am just because I'm literally trying to picture myself snuggling up next to a guy to watch a movie. I can't. I just can't do it.
And that's why you're part of the problem.
Well, it's not as much as part of the problem as much as this.
You literally are the epitome of what we're talking about right now.
No, because I don't care if somebody does or not. That's the difference. I don't give a shit if you want to snuggle. I just don't think I can. I also don't think I can. I can't. I just the thought of me kissing a man just doesn't work for me in the slightest.
No, you know we've had that conversation before, and I've never been one to shy away from things. I don't embarrass by things. I did it once. It was gross. I hated it. I'll never do it again. I kissed a
I
dude.
just can't even bring
But
myself to
I
do it.
think that's a whole different conversation.
That is a different topic altogether. We're not saying, and let me just before people freak out on me, especially in light of what's going on in my life. You guys, young men, you don't have to go to that extreme. We're not telling you to go start making out with dudes. If you want to, that's cool. Go do it. But this is not what we're saying. We're just saying don't smack your bitch.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
Her. Just don't smack any woman. Like,
And don't call them bitches.
What was I heard a thing specifically about that? It was I would never hit a woman. Don't ever get me wrong. I would never hit a woman. But to say that when people stand up and say there's no reason to hit a woman, I got a problem with that.
Yeah.
There are 1,000 reasons to hit a woman. The question is do you?
Yeah,
And
well,
the
see,
answer is
now
no.
let me play devil's advocate here, because if this is where we're going with this, why not?
Well, I think
it depends on the situation. If she's attacking you, all the best. I mean,
well,
what?
like that's exactly what I was going to say. Like what I've learned from my life is that there is a multitude of different ways that a woman and a man can abuse.
Oh, absolutely.
That abuse each other in a relationship, and like a few different ways is taking away sex.
And I don't know if Gord explained this to you, Paul. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I don't know if Gord explained that this is the topic for the next little while. on our show, and feel free to join us as much as you want. But
Yeah.
a lot of battered spouses keep it to themselves because they don't want to admit that a woman's been torturing them for years. And
Well, that's the problem, and that's what my wife says all the time. There's all these shelters for women, but let's say a woman abuses a man.
there is nowhere. I know from experience.
Like, I can talk to my friend about it, but would I? No. Because it's embarrassing.
And I was openly ridiculed by police when I called them for help. They laughed. A male and female cop laughed at me.
Like, that, honestly, you should call up the Vancouver police.
Oh, it's so long ago. I wouldn't now. But I'm hoping that I can help other men who are in the situation that I was in, where I did feel silly talking about it. And she was 5'2". That didn't seem to matter when she threw me out a second-story window. Her height didn't play into that. But yeah, it is embarrassing, and it does. You do question your manhood.
100%. How could you not?
But then again, I thought, okay, well, I'm still being a man because I'm not going to hit her back no matter what she does.
And I'm proud of you for that. Like, as hard as that is to...
Why though? You wouldn't let a dude do that, yeah? If a fucking other guy came up and pulling the same shit on you, you'd fucking punch his fucking face.
You could literally do whatever you want.
And a woman can defend themselves in the right situation. But if you're instigating a fucking problem,
I think that comes down to being the better.
Now, do the new gender boundaries is that going to make it more difficult for men? And this is going to sound funny, but I'm genuinely not joking right now. When a guy goes, I don't know what to do. Can I hit this one or not? Which one is this? Like,
but once you hit the woman, you're in the wrong.
But what if you honestly don't know? There's so many gender identities now. A young man may not know who he can hit and who he can't anymore. Is this one I can hit? I didn't bring my chart.
Yeah, exactly. And that
I need you to fill out this essay before I hit you.
That's just like having sex with a woman. You gotta have a whole contract for it to make sure that you don't get in trouble. Like,
right.
I remember when I was at school and they took out all of the athletes out of classes so that we would have we would all get together in the gym and figure out what was consent, and that was wonderful because a football player raped a cheerleader, and it's just
the rape culture is something I've just never understood. Like, how fucking weak-minded you have to be to have to hear a person say no. Okay, no.
Oh my god! So I find it the creepiest thing. But a lot of people enjoy it, and there's a lot of good people out there, and that's what I do.
And it's just a staggering amount of I can't believe the numbers of disgusting human beings.
Well, can I just say something really quickly? Like, my wife's shelter, she has 3 shelters, and they're at full capacity, 100% of.
I don't doubt it.
And they have a hard time keeping the lights on at night. And
at least they still got a place. We as guys don't.
100%. And I think that's a whole other topic. But
let me just say, so as not confuse things, God bless you and your co-workers, and you do wonderful things, and keep fighting the good fight, because there's a lot of sick dudes out there who just don't get it. And my hat goes off. I know the emotional fortitude it takes to. I don't know how you go back a second day. Really, I don't. And you're so much stronger than I will ever be. And just know that we love and respect you for what you do and your coworkers, and God bless you all.
But my wife comes home every single day, and usually at least once a week says we need to have something for me.
Of course.
And there is not nearly enough, and I think that's what Gord is saying. Like,
No, there isn't anything for men. I know from experience, but I don't want to say that I wouldn't want something created for men at the detriment of something that already exists for women. I don't want to take anything away from them. We have the resources to just create something for men, and that's something I want to be a huge topic, because it's not just in the form of shelters, in the form of legal resources, anything. Women, we do not get access to things that women get. And
well, I would like to say just one thing. Like my wife's brother is in a legal action suit with his crazy wife, and like when I say crazy, like I am the first to say I love women. I love my mom. I love my wife. Whatever. But like she has taken. They separated. He's a great man. Makes a ton of money. She never worked. She essentially put him $180,000 in debt. He doesn't even care about that money because he makes a lot of money. But
okay, I kind of hate this guy.
I know.
I'm kidding.
Like she's just a horrible woman, and like she gives the child to him every second Wednesday for an hour and every Saturday for 3 hours.
2 hours a week more than I get at the moment. Not saying anything, but yeah, it's terrible that they can do that.
That is not fair at all. He did everything that he possibly could. He is a good guy.
And there's nothing that the system does against the women that do that.
He has to subpoena her to get him to get more time. Like,
she doesn't even when she doesn't follow the fucking rules though.
But like, what the
fuck?
Like that's not fair ever. Like,
now see, when my crazy ass ex just decides that I get 2 hours every Saturday, and that's what I get with my 4-year-old daughter.
Did you do anything to her? No.
No.
Did he do anything to her?
Never.
Or anything? No. Like.
This was just what was decided in court because she could afford a lawyer and I couldn't. But my thing is, when she decides that Saturday is just not going to happen, I have no recourse. All I can do is take her to court.
Say, hey, like,
you have no backing. You have no political,
unless you have a contract. And
a contract doesn't mean shit.
I have a court order.
Yeah, he has a court order.
But my only recourse, if she cancels the visit, is to return to court and find her in contempt of court, which could take up to 6 months, and by then, who gives a shit?
Is that really, like, honestly, I don't know that much about that.
That's why I'm telling you.
And, like,
so
I am
shut your lips and learn.
About that. Like, see, like, the one thing that I've always said is, like, my wife and I have always talked, and, like, she said, like, heaven forbid, like, we ever break up, like, there would be...
Good save. Wait, let me write that down. That's a good one. I want to remember that.
Yeah.
This guy knows how to talk to the ladies.
She said, like, unless I hit her, unless I child, anything, like, I would have to ruin her world to let her not see my own child. And I am very lucky to be with the woman that I am. We got married at the hospital for my granddad. Like, she is more, like, Thor can attest to that. Like,
he loves this woman like it's just the last day of her.
Oh, hey, I love 3 of them that way this weekend. They're wonderful.
But, like, honestly, that makes me very sad to hear that, like, you and my brother-in-law, like, you guys don't even stand.
Unfortunately, we kind of bred it that way, didn't we? By this culture that we began the show with. We convinced people we didn't need it. And then our parents raised a bunch of kids who accidentally had feelings, and they grew up to be very scared and confused and have no resources.
Yeah, and no way of handling it, dealing with it, processing it, none of that. It's a bullshit thing.
Like, honestly, like, if I ever broke up with my wife, like, I would, like, it's scary that people go through this every single day. Like, I sometimes worry about, like, I have anxiety, so, like, I worry about stupid shit, but, like, I couldn't imagine what you and Bart are going through, and, like, I just,
It is tough, and I worry
I'm very proud of you that you haven't done anything and that you're trying to do things the right way, and, like, I think you should be proud of yourself. And I sound like a D-bag, but whatever, I don't care, like, I'm saying that, like,
well, every one of my girlfriends agrees with the good fight, so if I ever break up with one of them, I think it should be better than my ex-wife.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, they're like
it's an ex-wife for a reason.
It's so funny. Women always say like there are a lot of bad men out there, but like women always say that there's no good men out there, and like
There's some fucked up women.
There are some fucked up women out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Well, and,
Absolutely.
I love women more than anything, but like there are just some horrible women out there, and like it's scary, and like especially when it comes to children, men don't stand a fighting chance, and I think that is disgusting. And
I spent 7 years of my fucking life dealing with shit like that.
Yeah, and I know because I'm trying to hook up with a real crazy one tonight. Because I've just gone through something very emotional yesterday with one, and I'm very scared for the future, and I've been accused of maybe blurring the lines of consent. Let's put it that way. Never in my life have I ever done such a thing.
Like, you essentially need to have a contract nowadays to hook up with anybody.
A condom company has came out with a box that takes 4 hands to open it up, which means it's a consensual box.
And I guarantee you, some company has just put out 2 prosthetic hands that attach to your right wrist somehow.
Absolutely.
Like, honestly, though,
it's just a matter of who's not buying those.
The drummer from Def Leppard.
Right?
We can do this all night. And we're trying to get you to hook up with somebody.
And then we'll be having a conversation about whether one-armed dudes are really dudes and stuff. It's gonna be weird.
Yeah,
that's the next big one.
Well, they can't open condom boxes with only one arm, so fuck those guys.
Just getting back to like what we were talking about, like the other thing that I think that is very disappointing is that like I think a lot of men don't realize is that we are taught at a very young age to bury all of our feelings. So like everything that we're talking about right now, 50 years ago, they would be sitting around just drinking
beers. They'd be telling it as a story and trying to laugh it off.
Yeah.
Then they go home drunk and they smack away.
Yeah, exactly. You can't show any emotion. You can't be who they truly are. They often never show how or who they actually are. Sadness and crying are a sign of being soft or weak. Burying everything to show how strong.
Hang on, guys. I'm having a little technical difficulty here right now. Sorry, but I'm gonna lose you for a couple of seconds. Paul, I don't mean to interrupt. I'll be right back with you. I don't know what the hell I just did. And so for the rest of the podcast, I'm going to play a song. And let's do this one.
Phone die?
Talk about things I couldn't make up if I wanted to. I was texting a girl while we were having that conversation. And I killed my phone.
I'm sorry. One more time.
I was texting a girl while we were having that conversation, and I killed my phone.
Yeah, Eric.
But you just couldn't possibly make that up. If I wanted to, that I couldn't. That's just so perfect that while we're having this, I'm trying to pick up a chick on the phone. That's just brilliant. I do apologize for the interruption, but it won't go out on the air like that. I'll edit it. No problem. You'll never even know what happened.
So we haven't started yet.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Because like I just had a quick question, like how am I doing? Like I feel like I want to give a different perspective on things, like my own perspective, like.
I don't understand what you mean.
That you would suggest for me or anything like that?
Are you not giving your own perspective?
No, I absolutely 100% am. Like that's what. Like,
He's just wondering how is he coming off? How's he sounding?
Well, I won't really know that unless nobody listens tomorrow. No, I'm kidding. You're doing great, Paul.
You'll be like, what the fuck, Paul? Like, dick.
If I lose the 11 people that still listen to this show, I will have a reason now. No, I'm just kidding. You're doing wonderful, and it's always great to have someone who especially maybe doesn't fully appreciate what a jackass I pretend to be on the show, but in real.
I like how you say pretend.
We're just pretend. But like honestly, like I just want to say like thank you for a lot, like letting me join this. Like I think this is like one of the coolest things in the entire world. Like I never thought I'd be a part of a podcast, but like your guys' perspectives are also different. That it's very interesting and like.
Well, my perspective's very different from most.
Pardon me?
My perspective is very, very different from just about everybody's. So it's
but like I don't know what happened. Really, what happened? But like, is everything okay? Like anything I can do to help or?
No, the sound quality on my end is terrible. You'll get used to that.
Okay.
But that's something that sets us apart from the other shows, frankly, and I like it that way. Some of them you can hear what the people are saying, and I don't think there's any benefit to that. So.
No, why would you want to hear what they're saying?
No, and not to demean what a great guest Paul is, but any guy or girl out there who has something to say and wants to say it to an audience that's growing every day, shoot me an email, guests@ericandgord.com, and you don't even have to tell me what you want to say. We'll just put you on. Not a very stringent vetting process here.
And like, just as one of the guests, like they're easy to talk to, fun.
And most of the time I'm naked and drinking a beer. That's why we canceled the YouTube channel.
Yeah, for most the wrong thing.
No, I'm not. I have roommates listening right now. Well, they're sleeping. I'm teabagging one of them as we talk. But could I be more of a disgusting example of what we're trying to say we don't like tonight? If I had emotions, I'd be really offended by me.
Bullshit. Oh, like it.
My lawyer told me to say that.
Yeah, nice.
I think this topic is probably, in my opinion, the most important thing we could be talking about. I think all men should be talking about. I think we should have a show like The View that's 5 dudes that sit around and talk about stuff. But it would never happen because we'd all just make jokes like me.
Yeah, that's what it would end up turning into.
I think
Let's start off with the best intentions.
there needs to be a change in our society, and men aren't like natives. You can't beat it into them, so we got to figure something out.
And I think we have to figure it out in a very. I know this is not gonna may not come off as the best thing to say, but in a sensitive manner as well. Like,
but again, now you're putting everything into question.
Okay.
As in, do you allow guys to be guys, or do you just see anything as a one unified virtual fact? I mean, that's what it's all.
Every single person is individualized, so of course that like everybody's going to see masculinity as something different.
Well, see, that's a good point, and that's the point that's confusing, and unfortunately, that's just the way it is. We can't look at, we can't say it's this way or that way anymore. It's on a case by case basis how we approach people. We have to be discerning as intelligent individuals. Maybe I can talk one way to Gord, and I can't talk that way to Paul. I can talk to in front of this girl a certain way, but this girl is gonna accuse me of being Bill Cosby. You have to, guys.
Where it comes down to people, there's all sorts of different people out there, and like there's people that are gonna, especially I feel like we're in the stage of like the causes. Where like everybody's trying to there's a day for everything.
The problem is people don't have enough shit to do. This is the problem. They're filling their lives with meaningless crap. Well, being on these phones, which is what we're all guilty of.
Social media has
all that shit. We don't do anything anymore. So now people have nothing to do but to question gender.
Love social media. Just saying. EricandGord.com.
It's Facebook's problem.
Yeah.
Like, social media has been a great thing and a horrible thing altogether, and it's actually quite impressive to see that. Like, social media has given everybody a voice, and everybody a voice to hide behind as well.
Exactly.
And I think that's that's why it all comes down to causes. Like, I'm type 1 diabetic, so the month of March is diabetic month, and but do I go and talk to every single person I know about diabetes? No, of course not.
But you should send Wilford Brimley a postcard.
No, I'll give him a high five. But
do you have a minute to talk about diabetes?
Stop, please.
Gives you the bronze. I hit my wife the other day. Then I remembered I wasn't married. Who did I hit?
I woke up and then I didn't have all one.
I'm Wilford Brimley. Do you have a moment to talk about diabetes? I love that. I wish I had that. And oatmeal.
But there's a day for everything, and that's what I think is half. Okay, that is half the problem. Is that there's a day for
everything. There's a day for chips, for Christ's sake.
There's a day for cookies and for hugs and for kisses and for brothers and for sisters and everybody's posting.
It's bullshit. It's such horseshit. Nobody cares.
And I think that's why this conversation is something that needs to be had in a very individualized manner. But it's good that the three of us all have different. I just think it's a very good way to talk about it because everybody is actually different, and the three of us are all different, and we all have different views on it. We're all going through different things, and at the end of the day, we're not going to figure out, hey, how is it to be the right thing?
No, I'm certainly the last one who's going to say what's right or wrong or subscribe to it at the end of the day. But I also don't want to blur the lines to where kids think there is no right and wrong, because there is definitely right and wrong. And I don't want to get into this, you can't play dodgeball, you can't keep score, you can't have a best friend because that alienates your other friends. We have to teach our kids how to do this properly, or we're going to ruin them. far beyond anything we ever had to go through.
Yep. The whole not keeping score thing bothers me more than anything. Like,
Oh, we've covered this topic extensively.
Kids need to learn how to lose, and they need to learn how to win the right way.
And I think
we're doing them a disjustice by not keeping score, and it's not teaching them, hey, the real life is sucked.
Yeah.
And like,
I've covered this so many times that I'm almost tired of myself, but these kids who've never heard no, these are the ones that show up and shoot up their office the first time they don't get the promotion. They don't know how to process no, and so they do it with a shotgun. It's... I knew how to... I learned no very well because I sucked at sports. I was an ugly kid, and I had no money. I heard no a lot when I was young, and it helped me to want to be better and get stuff.
Made you appreciate
it really did make me appreciate things. It also made me, well, kind of a douchebag, but that's another topic. But like I'm saying, I don't, it's okay to not get it. I think maybe a lot of this toxic masculinity is confusion. And just like homophobia, if I don't understand it, I'm just going to attack it because that's naturally easier to me. And I think we have to convince people it's okay to not get it. It's okay to ask questions. And dudes, you can't just always make fun of your friends when they have a question. Talk about shit, guys. It's okay. It doesn't make you more feminine to ask before you rape somebody.
intellectual conversation.
Yeah, it's not cool to be dumb anymore. Jocks aren't dumb. That's
I don't know. Dumb is running 2 fucking countries.
yeah.
Shut up.
It's like leading the industry. So I'm sorry. I think the problem is dumb is people talk like they're smart. They throw a lot of big certain words.
I hate buzzwords.
Words that hit on the media, that they know to use. But when it actually comes down to real brains, there's not a whole lot to sound like anymore.
And the other thing that is extremely sad is all these social media, they only post the happiest times of their lives. So anxiety, depression is on a whole nother level right now, because you're seeing, they're going out for a hike and all smiling, and I'm sitting at home watching TV doing nothing,
and God bless that one dude on The Amazing Race that pushed his wife. That was brilliant.
I mean, brilliant. But
there's a guy who was genuinely himself on national television, pushed his wife down on a concrete street in a rainy day because she wasn't running fast enough. That is a guy. Man.
There it is.
But there's not enough. Everybody is putting a mask on.
Of course.
Portray a solid human being.
There's 2,500 apps that are to blur your photos to make you look like something you're not when you're taking a selfie. And you're the only 99% of your selfies are only ever looked at by you. Why do you have to fucking doctor them? How low is your self-esteem?
How bored are you? Pick up.
That's Gord's point. We're too fucking bored. Get a hobby.
Yeah,
play a sport.
That's the thing. Nobody knows how to do anything.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I love Lego, whatever. But I showed fucking Gord for 20 minutes all my Lego that I had built because
yeah, but just so you know, Eric, you should see this shit. He's got the BB-8 from Star Wars. There's
the London Bridge.
The London Bridge. There's a bunch of the different towns. They're all done through Lego. It's some dope shit, man.
I just built the. Do you remember the Mickey Mouse, the original
Mickey Mouse cartoon? Black and white.
With,
of course, yeah.
Steamboat Willie.
I just built that, like.
And it's all black and white
It's
too.
all black and white. It's incredible.
That's and does he own land and people in the Lego version?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually so cool, but like, it's my like. I'd much rather do that than it be having a wife and trying to like.
That's a very married guy hobby.
Yeah, and like.
It's great.
I'm kidding.
But like I said, I'm silly. I'm a different guy, and I like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I collected Japanese stuff when I was married, and I tried to learn origami, and
But it took me a long time to be comfortable in my own.
yeah.
I will say, like being an athlete, playing the sport that I did, it took me a long time to be comfortable in my own.
It's going to take me a long time to finally seal the deal with this mother-daughter team I met at the grocery store. And that is also going to make me feel better about who I am.
That's spectacular.
Oh, I almost pulled that off with a straight face. I hope people who are fans of the show understand that I'm partially kidding about this stuff.
Partially.
I'm not.
Oh, that's great.
I'm not coming off looking real good on this one. I think I'm going to lose this fight. Kids, don't be like me. There you go.
That's the end story for it. Don't be like Eric.
Pretty much. That's a good moral at the end of any story. It doesn't really matter where you're going with it. If you just end with, and don't be like Eric, your kids will be successful.
There it is.
And I'm not saying this as a homeless comedian, out of work musician, recovering alcoholic. I could go on and on with a list of awesome things on my resume. I'm saying this as someone who cares about your kids. Now, while yes, I'm a fantastic lover and just a heck of a best friend, I'm not exactly the pillar of stability that I give across as while I'm on the air here.
Because you come off so stable on the air.
I was on a roll there for a minute.
Yeah, I kind of had to knock it down a peg for you.
I'm not going to get any better, but the young people of today probably can. I've been told they're smart. I don't really like to talk to them. But Paul, you seem pretty in tune with the younger generation. Are they up to this challenge?
I think a quarter of them are. I think 3/4 of them don't know how to talk to people.
Would you?
Yeah, but
you're a little bit younger, so I want to see. Would you agree or disagree that this is because they did not watch Degrassi as young people?
I actually went to school with a guy that played in Degrassi, and
no, we're talking about the original Degrassi.
So am I.
No, either or. I don't care. They're both fantastic.
The one with Ray.
No, the original. Yeah. Well, I go fuck yourself.
Fuck me, man.
We're talking the one that started it all.
We've converted it.
But
It's like when you go the original Star Wars and some little shit goes, "You mean the Phantom Menace?" No, that's backwards, dick.
That's backwards. You're wrong. You got that so wrong. Figure out your life. The first Star Wars is always a New Hope.
And they all suck, so screw you guys. Just Star Wars kids, you're not going to win this fight. There's men and women and all the beautiful genders in between, and then those Star Wars guys who are all alone.
Well, no, they got the Trekkies to fight with.
Right? Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah, those don't even get. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All you confused young people, go beat up a Trekkie if you really got to get it out of your system. We'll forgive that.
Those are the incidences that don't. Those are the incidents that don't end you up in court for assault.
Yeah.
It's just allowed.
And I'm still waiting for the one kid who invents dilithium crystal meth. I think that'll be brilliant.
Oh, he'll be a millionaire for a short period of time.
So the kids are wow. We just got from a guy whose opinion I think I trust even more than my own. 3/4 of you are doomed. That's not good for the future. What do we do for kids? How do we educate them? Do we just scrap the whole system and start again? Because it's not working.
No, the system doesn't work at all. Completely flawed too, because the system is put in place for society to move in a very specific direction. The problem is we've taken a very, very sharp left turn.
Yeah,
we did it completely. Nobody saw that the issue was going to be gender. Nobody ever thought this was going to be anything, and then all of a sudden now it's not the way society is designed to go. We've taken a left turn, and now we can't go back.
And I think the big problem is there's no one to blame, which is where a certain segment of the population gets confused. It's nobody's fault because it's not necessarily.
Yes, it is. It is one person. It is one specific person's fault. It's actually the media's fault.
Sarah McLachlan. I keep trying to give Sarah McLachlan a break, but we all know whose fault it really is.
It's fucking Sarah McLachlan.
But honestly, the one thing that I think that would actually could start to at least have some sort of effect.
That's what I'm looking for.
Is to have a program set out in the school to teach people not how to be a man or not how to be a woman, but how to be a decent human being, how to have the basic skills to get through life.
Yeah, but when we're living in a society that's so far gone when it comes to what's considered morally and ethic, who are we going to put in charge to make this fucking system? Yeah, it's a great idea in theory, but who the fuck can actually pull it off?
I think we need to really convince people that you cannot rely on Mark Burnett money. We're now in a culture where you're raised to be we're having Disney kids on purpose. That's not healthy. You can't plan to be on a reality show. I think.
But you can. That's the problem.
But you shouldn't.
No, of course you shouldn't. But this is why I say, with the way society is, the only way for there to be a fucking change is to have 2/3 of the planet being wiped off the fucking face of the earth.
Well, unfortunately, it was really easy for people our age to grow up knowing that a fucking reality star would never be president.
No.
And now that's we've lost on that fight now. The world's getting retarded, and I don't mean to insult retards when I say that.
No, but think of it this way though. Ronald Reagan, what was he before he was president? He was an actor.
Yes, he was.
So I mean, he might have opened the door, but he wasn't an asshole.
He was you can thank trickle-down economics on him not being an asshole and Nancy Reagan's war on drugs. Way to go, Nance.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was very dumb.
Just say no to logic and basic understanding of addiction.
Yeah, but at the time it made perfect sense for government to do something like that.
Well, that's because everyone was on coke.
Yeah. But they didn't understand the business aspect of it.
And good coke. I miss it.
It's a weird drug. I have to admit, I have a very weird reaction to that stuff.
But like,
I think it
goes onto the parents on how they're raising.
I couldn't agree more.
I essentially think that they need to be not raising kids with you have a boy, so here's all the blue things or here's all the pink things. I think they need to be raising them at a young age to be good human beings. It doesn't matter about gender. Fuck it, who cares? Like we're gonna have to leave some things behind. But at least I would feel a lot better if I was at least surrounded by a bunch of decent people.
You see, this is interesting to me because there's my favorite author that I love to read.
Dr.
Is
Seuss.
a guy named Robert Cook. Very big fan of this guy named Robert Cook. He writes a bunch of medical sort of thrillers. They're just fascinating. But he wrote one particular book, and it was fascinating because these guys were like deep water drilling, and they break into this crevice in the earth, and they get sucked into this sort of pipe, and they end up in this literal other world that of deep civilization of humans that live in like basically underground, but like very, very, very far down underground, miles underground. More people? Well, yeah, but actual people. And it's what it was is it was the original civilization of humans. And when they fucked up the planet with pollution and everything else, they abandoned and they ended up building and living. A core group of them live in this community underground, and their whole thing is that it's the same people because when they die, they get transferred their minds and their essence into a child's body, so you actually live forever.
Like a new child that lives underground.
Yeah, but the children everybody's created. It's a lab factory that makes this civilization. This is how far they've advanced. They've advanced so that you still have male and female, but only in the sense that one has a penis, one has a vagina. It's open love.
But why do they need a penis or a vagina if they're not?
It's still about
That's almost in tune with my favorite literary genius, Mr. Hugh Hefner, who also taught me that women can be created.
he
not
wasn't
the same?
well known for his wording.
But he did spend a tremendous amount of money creating perfect women.
That's very true.
Similar, right? No? Am I off on this?
No, you're right. It's true. The perfect woman. He definitely had a style.
His daughter runs the company now. That's saying something for them. Way to go, Hefners. So sorry. So carry on.
You still there?
Am I still here?
Here.
Yes. Keep going, guys. I'm here. How have you lost me?
Somewhere still on, right?
I can still hear you guys. Yes. How are you not hearing me? How are you? Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are. Holy fuck.
Okay, that's weird because I could hear you guys perfectly clearly. Now, are you guys having problems on your end?
Is that what happened? That thing shut off? I couldn't even hear the phone. This was on the whole time. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened.
All right. Good, because I was just sounding like an idiot anyway, so...
I just like, where the fuck did Eric go?
I don't get it. But we're good. We're back. Everything's fine.
I think that this entire segment has maxed itself in a different form, and I think it's actually a good thing. Like, I think that we realize that, you know what, to be a man, I don't know what that is.
And I couldn't agree more. I think none of us do really know, and there's always going to be the antiquated jackasses like me, the Charlie Sheen character, getting it wrong and loving it. But I don't know. Well, see, now that's an extreme. I'm gonna try to. Can you guys still hear me like this? Because I hear you a lot better this way.
You're fading in and out.
I'm fading. Of course, I am.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will go this route, but I can't hear you guys quite as well. So I'm gonna have to ask you to speak up a little bit.
Okay.
Now I don't want to go too far with the "if it feels good, do it" message, because that opens the door to a lot of freaks.
Well, of course, because it all becomes about.
That echo's
What the
got.
hell is that in the background?
Nothing. It's better now.
It is much better now.
I don't want the just if it makes you happy, then it's right, because that opens the door to NAMBLA.
Yeah, exactly.
But that also goes back to being taught the proper things and then taking that and making it essentially your own identity.
And how? See, that's where confusion comes in, because what's proper? What's proper to Winston Blackmore is not proper to us.
No.
Um,
And that's very true. But like, and that's where I'm saying that like, to be a man is different to everything. Like,
Yeah, but you can't have it just run a fucking muck all over the place.
no, and I'm not saying that's
Because they're
but that's why I'm saying that. Like, I think that everybody should be not like. I think that it's the responsibility of the parents to teach their children how to go out in society and be not just a proper man or a proper woman, but be a proper human being, be a decent human being, and then essentially take it from there. Like,
You're talking the entire. It's not that simple.
It's not that simple. And I'm not
Because
saying
you're talking all forms of advertising change, all forms of clothing change. Every single thing on the planet is designed for two sexes. That's it. That's the way the planet's been designed. And literally, you're going to be changing that because.
But there's enough things out there that you can essentially make your own. Like, what I wear, it doesn't essentially correlate to what you're wearing.
No.
And that's why you make it your own.
Well, yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying, though. But I mean, by bringing in gender, you end up changing how everything gets modeled, because not only are you bringing in gender, but you're bringing in a bunch of hyper fucking sensitive people.
But we're not trying to change gender. We're trying to essentially.
You have changed it. It has already happened. Gender has a completely different definition now than what it did.
100%.
You changed gender.
But it's become more in the middle than anything else.
and is that necessarily a good thing? Allow me to just say scientifically, it's our differences that attract us, and that's what perpetuates the human race.
Eventually, it just means that everybody's going to be dating. Like, for those that are going to be quote unquote a straight couple, you're literally going to be dating yourself. You won't be dating somebody that's different than you anymore. That's the problem, because everybody's so individual that you can.
I would love if I could date myself.
Yeah, I think that would be kind of.
I think really my search for women is perpetuated by the fact that I can't date myself. If I could.
I would sweep myself off my feet. I would be so.
Oh my God, I would treat myself good.
Oh my God, it'd just be doing nothing but romance and fucking.
Oh, you have no idea. Oh,
and great meals.
just fantastic. Oh, God, I love me. I find myself so many times jealous of the women who get to make out with me, because I'll never know that pleasure.
Right? You kiss a mirror all the time. It's just not the same thing.
You just simmer down over there. You're way too excited.
You don't know me real well, do you, Paul?
Well, that like 6 minutes of talking beforehand is wonderful.
I really do love the guests who don't listen to the show before they come on. We gotta try and keep it that way.
Well, like it comes with like a fresh fucking.
I just love because it means that nobody has a preconceived idea of what they think they should act like, and that's why they end up just coming out as me. You have to come out just to be yourself because you have no other option. You don't know what you're getting into.
I think on a intellectual level, we did just prove the point from the beginning that we don't know. But I think it's simpler than Gord wants to believe, because here's some math to square that circle in your mind. If this is if whatever you're about to do is going to make someone else feel rotten about themselves, just don't fucking do it. Simple.
Yeah, but that's what everything's based off of now, and that's where feelings come into effect.
Exactly. But gentlemen, emotions aren't weakness. That's simple. That's simple. Kids, it's okay to be emotional. Cry a little bit. Don't be emotional with your fists. That's not right anymore. Be emotional with.
The thing is there's being emotional, being able to accept your emotions. That's one thing. But when it comes at a detriment to your own health to the extent that you're, so fucking worried about everything that, like everybody's so anxiety ridden nowadays.
Well, yeah, eat a peanut. Feed your kids peanuts when they're born; they'll be fine. And then my kid can have peanut butter at school.
Yeah.
Don't
Immunize your children.
Every child needs to spend at least 5 of his years eating sandbox dirt.
definitely.
Why?
Because it builds your immunity system. It's actually proven by science.
Eat dirt. Cut your knees.
Go outside.
Go outside. Yes. That big shiny thing in the sky that is actually there. NASA didn't make that up. You need that. It gives you vitamin D and you live.
Then my secret wife, who is a ginger and needs to wear 100% sunblock.
Called liquid sweater.
Yeah. In about 25 to 50 years, that's not going to matter anymore. Gingers won't exist. We can move on from there. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's just like the fact that white people are on their way out, which I think is great, because when global warming ruins us, we won't burn as easily. I think that's meant to be. I think that's why that's happening. Could be the same. This could be evolutionary. We're becoming not necessarily asexual. Excuse me. I'm choking on the words because it's foreign to me. Omnisexual? Would that?
Is that what it's considered now?
I'm making that up. I'm just coining that term. There's a lot of what's going to happen in the future is going to be based on innovations by me. So, omnisexual is my new thing I just came up with now. And that's going to be a thing. So, you're welcome.
Omnisexual is somebody who is.
It's like an omnidirectional mic. It captures sound from everywhere, and it just makes one sweet sound when it comes out the other end.
That's not true. That's okay. Omnisexual is somebody who's attracted to every single person that has.
Yeah.
So in other words, I don't care if it's guy or girl.
I can look that up. I'm not just saying that. I know I have this knowledge. Right?
Did you get that from Urban Dictionary?
Me?
Wikipedia.
But like,
It's on Wikipedia.
but like, I don't think that like, there's no way in hell that we were going to unmask what it's like to be a man tonight. But I think in what we've tried to accomplish, I think that we have done that. I think that we have come up with the only thing that we haven't really done is how we're going to
Implement it.
or like
Eliminate 2/3 of the population. Start fresh. I'm not saying us. I'm just saying something. Or you would be dead. So I'm fine with that. I've lived a fun enough life.
I would
don't
not
care. Eric would still be doing the podcast talking about me.
I will definitely continue the podcast.
I love how quickly you jump on that.
But like, for example,
George, you're fired.
I went to JP last Friday, and I was wearing one of the Pride t-shirts, and it was just a cool t-shirt. It was black, and it had the Blue Jays logo, but it was in white. And I had bought it, and I went to the washroom, and a guy came up to me, and two guys came up to me, and one of the guys said, "I don't care that you're a homo, but don't use the same washroom."
You believe some fucking douchebag actually said that to him?
I love.
This was like what?
I just started laughing at him, and I said, 2019, so fuck.
I love that guy still exists. And I love that homo is still a thing. That's great to know.
Like, isn't that lovely?
Figure out a better term.
Like, wait, how is that? Like, what retort could you have other than, do you mean sapien? Because, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Wait, how is homo still? I love when these old terms come out and they're still a thing. Like, I love that there's one guy that still thought that was cool enough to say out loud.
And his buddy told him off for it. Like,
Well, of course he did.
Yeah, his buddy hit him. Like,
his buddy slapped him.
Oh yeah, I'd slap him back to the 1950s, but this is ridiculous. God bless him for
laughing at him. It was
homo.
like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, what's going on? Like, I just laughed at him and said, it's 2019. No fucking. Don't, like.
Perfect. I mean, in my opinion, perfect fucking reaction to that.
Well,
Like,
it's a homo. I just love it. Oh, hey homo.
Like what? It tells you everything you need to know about that guy.
Oh,
It tells
yeah.
you everything you need to know about him.
Absolutely.
You know exactly his personality type. You know he's just a weasel little bitch.
And the fact that he would make fun of something that's on someone's clothes, I want to be the first. I won't be the first to point out. I am at no time aware of what's on my clothes. I don't know. I wear shirts. Sometimes they say stuff. I don't look at them when I put them on. The fact that you would think that that's relevant. So, like sometimes I might be wearing a pink shirt and I don't notice. I don't know. I don't care about that. I wear clothes only because society says I have to.
Yeah.
But the fact that someone said, "Hey, nice pink shirt, homo," like, really? That's great.
I like, Lauren knows this. I love fucking bright shit, and like, I don't care what color.
So does Sikhs.
I'm jealous of you guys because I can't wear those colors. I'm a fucking fair-haired fat ginger. That shit just exactly. I feel them. Thank you very much.
Generally, here's my rule with clothes: if it's under $12, it looks good on me. I don't know I don't see color. That's another thing I hate, by the way. People who say they don't see color, that's just as offensive. Celebrate differences. Don't be like that.
I think what makes us different is actually the only thing that we have left. Like, to be perfectly honest, like, I don't.
Hey, wait. Do you think this is actually the fucking plan of the Rothschilds and those guys? Because they make gender an issue. That'll solidify the planet into one race, one being. If everybody can recognize themselves as a non.
What's the next logical step? And that's where I was going with my joke about the races becoming murkier and murkier. That the fact that we're all just white people are on the way out, and there's this new mauve. I don't know what this is. Okra, maybe.
Genetic mutation.
But yeah, the next logical step really would be eliminate gender.
Eliminate the white.
I think we become a new, essentially Nazi. I honestly don't know where to go from here because honestly I don't know if there is an actual solution, and that is terrifying.
2/3 the population.
I still say my answer is the answer. Just don't hurt people. If you can do whatever you're doing without hurting someone else, then it's okay. If not, it's not. Simple.
That's exactly how I try to live my life. I try to live my life, and I try to do unto others what I would like. Essentially, I don't.
The only line in the Bible I respect.
Honestly, I don't want to be fucked with. I don't want to be messed over. I just want to live my life, and I don't mind talking to people.
Oh God, I wish I had that Bon Jovi song right now. It would have been brilliant. It's my life. Oh, so perfect. Bon Jovi has a song for every conversation like this.
That's true.
There should be a podcast that does that. The Bon Jovi cat. He probably has one, actually. John, give me a call. Eric at ericandgord.com or 604-655-9630. Something I haven't mentioned, but he is been in the area. Christian Slater. Been a long time since me and Gord mentioned. But it was like some anniversary of Gleaming the Cube, and apparently he appeared somewhere and busted out some skate tricks, which for 45-year-old Christian Slater is wicked.
That's fucking really.
Still want you on the show more than anybody else on the planet. Anyone who can get me Christian Slater on the show, Eric at ericandgord.com or guests at ericandgord.com.
We'll do something special.
You have no idea what I would do for Christian Slater on this show. I would blur some gender lines were he here.
No, that's not the guy from Saved by the Bell.
No, that would be AC Slater.
That's AC Slater.
It's 12:30. Back the fuck up.
Although I would have liked Saved by the Bell a lot more if it was Christian Slater instead, and I think we should make that a thing. You know, Dustin Diamond's up for it. He's doing nothing.
Oh, yeah. What was Tiffany Thiessen?
Tiffany Thiessen.
Tiffany and...
Now, you're not going to tell me there's some room for differences in gender when there's Tiffany Thiessens in the world.
I don't want to hold her hand. I want to hold my dick.
I think we all just had a moment.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she's fantastic. In all seriousness, any dialogue is good dialogue. And, Paul, if you have some friends you need to invite to discuss this further, as I said, this is my devotion to men over the next little while is unwavering. We need to admit that we're confused. We need to admit that we're hurt, and we need people to address this. I can't stress this enough. I need people, professionals, lawyers, anybody who can help. It's just not right. Isn't that what we called it, Gord? It just isn't right.
Yeah, it isn't right.
Well, honestly, I think, my wife, who works in a women's shelter, I think that she would be somebody that you would enjoy her perspective.
Definitely. Anybody who can
And, like,
help men.
I would like to just say, like, the one thing that, like, all your listeners should try to watch. It's not on Netflix anymore, but you can watch it on YouTube. It's like a documentary. It's called The Mask You Live In. And it's
Sorry, that you got real quiet there. Can you just say the title one more time?
Sorry, it's not on Netflix, but it's on YouTube, and it's called The Mask You Live In. And it's all about men, and it honestly is incredible, and I highly recommend.
And guys, I won't make fun of you. If you need to really talk, you can always call me and Gord, 604-655-9630. That phone line's open 24 hours a day to any guy who needs to talk before he makes a bad decision. We all got to stick together here, guys. And
I think that, honestly, like, that you just blew me away right there. Like, that was, if there were more people that were willing to help out their fellow
Man, go ahead and say it.
Person.
Something that I think, or get somebody else's opinion, I think that is a start.
I make a lot of jokes because I find myself incredibly fucking funny. But there's always room to be serious too. I don't like to do it. I'll probably deflect over to Gord as much as possible. But guys, we can talk. We have to be here for each other. And you know, smack your idiot friends. If they're being idiots, tell them it's okay. People will think more highly of you.
If they don't like it, they can just man up.
Yeah, right?
Or grow some balls.
Right?
Grow some balls. Or to my incredibly very brave friend Jody, lose some. Yeah, I mean that in all genuineness. I have a friend who went through an operation today, and God bless her. She's okay, and celebrating her first official day as a woman.
Oh, that's incredible.
Long overdue.
Huge thing.
She's a good.
Very long time to go through that process, and
It's very cool. I'm very happy for her.
That's where you get serious, and I just want to say, like, that is a journey, and she should be very proud.
I couldn't imagine. I could
Like,
never
I'm
be
just
so
thinking
brave.
that, like just everything that you were initially raised to be told, and everything just felt wrong, and then to not only accept it, but to actually go through that process, changing and becoming. Jesus, I mean, like that's huge.
She would
That's
kick
not
my ass
something-
if I told her story on the air, so I won't. But if you guys have a minute after the show, I'll fill you in. But very proud of her, and I'm actually I've been invited to spend the night with her and make sure she's okay when she comes home.
That's nice. That's good.
Very, very cool that of her to ask me that. So
You should feel honored because
I am.
a lot of people, like, they,
That's a huge thing to go
society
through.
right
Yeah.
now is scary out there, and I'm glad she chose you.
Yeah, me too. It's very flattering, very unexpected, and I hope I can just do good for her. I've always been a friend to her, and her to me, so it's all good. I kid a lot.
I think you need to be yourself. I think you need to joke around. I think you need to be serious at times.
I think everybody needs to stop taking themselves so fucking seriously. I think that's a big part of the problem. It's okay to laugh once in a while, guys.
Yeah.
Feel silly.
Laugh at yourself.
Yes, most of all, laugh at yourself. God, I am nothing but one giant caricature. I've never done anything genuine in my life, and it's funny as hell, and 5,000 people think so.
It's an incredible fucking thing.
That's keep everybody laugh at yourself. Like Gordon and I have been preaching since the beginning of time. Easiest thing in the world. Be nice to each other. If things don't go your way, have a laugh. Keep in mind, Paul, do you know what happens when you get offended? Nothing. Nothing happens.
Absolutely nothing. You're offended. That's it. The story ends there.
So, who... Oh, I don't know if I have it here, but who cares? I was going to play your favorite sound effect, Gore, but I don't have it. So I got nothing. But I'm sure you guys are getting tired out there. We almost pushed 2 hours. It's been a long time since we've done that.
It's been a long time since we've done a long one.
It's been a good conversation, and like once again, I just would like to say, like, please, your listeners, go onto YouTube and watch The Mask We Live In. It essentially is everything that we talked about tonight.
And that's not to be confused with Beyond the Mask, the story of the wrestler Mankind. Just as good, but probably not going to get the same message.
No.
But like the other thing I would like to say to Eric and to Gord, thank you for having me, and thank you for allowing me to say what I said, and I really appreciate both of you allowing me onto the podcast, and thank you.
It's an open invitation. You are now one of the family. Thank you for reminding Gord and I, reinforcing the point that there are still good dudes out there.
Thank you.
I'm going to be back in roughly 23 hours. I don't know what Paul and Gord are doing, but they're...
I don't know.
Anyone's more than welcome to join me. This has just been an absolute delight. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Until then, take care of each other.
Fuck Trudeau.
That poor bastard.
Like, when I have nothing else negative, I'm just gonna go after him.
I love how I said stay classy and you said fuck Trudeau. It's all it.
Absolutely awesome. I'm gonna just play a little song here and end the show.